our next guest is sharing some President's Day history that is based right here
Right
in La
here.
Manzana Grande.
Yeah,
Your
what
turn.
she said.
Your turn.
So with that, we have our friend John Friia, the creator of Here in New York, back with us in New York Living.
It's always nice to be back.
It's
and
been too long.
I cannot say that 5 times fast. That's like a
Right?
very bad tongue twister.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And they were giving me all sorts of mess
Coaching.
for saying it wrong and trying to coach me.
By they, she means me.
John
Well-
Friia, it feels like it's forever.
I know. I haven't seen you like in what, like a month and a half?
Probably
It is
about
nice to
It
be
was
back.
before Christmas. And
Plus.
you'll recall, he brought us cookies.
How could we
I know. Not
forget?
that, well, what could I bake for President's Day?
I don't know.
A
but it's-
sugar cookie is very innocuous.
Oh,
It
you guys
goes-
are sweet enough. You don't need much more sugar.
Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. All right, talk to us.
right,
What do
so-
you have for us today?
So we've all heard that question, who's buried in Grant's tomb?
That was Grandpa Harry used to say that to me all the time.
Do you know who it is?
No.
Isn't it Grant?
Well, technically, no one is buried there.
What?
Grant,
They exhumed him?
well, Grant and his wife are entombed there. And this is the largest mausoleum in the United States.
This is the one that's all the way on the west side.
Close to the GW, yeah.
Yeah.
All the way by Riverside. So Grant died in 1885 at the age of 63 from throat cancer.
So young.
This mausoleum was built in 1897.
Okay.
So you might be thinking, where was his body for 12 years, right?
Yeah.
Well, so they built a temporary tomb behind that, where the tomb is today.
Oh.
And he was there for 12 years, and then this opened up. It was raised
Opened
more
up.
than 900,000 people. Donated more than $600,000 to have this built.
What?
It
He must
is
have been
inspired
liked.
by the it was inspired by the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, which is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world.
Jeez, Louise.
Yeah, and it is really beautiful to go in. It is part of the National Park Service, so it's free to visit.
Okay, here's what. You can go in.
You can go in.
I've never been in. I've always been around, but I've never actually gone in.
It is beautiful inside because there's murals of the president on the war front.
that's nice.
There's also statues of his comrade in arms that surround the sarcophagi.
Look at him.
It's quite
And
regal.
they raised how much money for this guy?
$600,000.
You know what? When
I'll
I die,
start
no
your-
one's going to
I'll
raise.
start
That
your
was the
GoFundMe
GoFundMe.
today.
That was
That
the
was
GoFundMe back in the 1800s.
they went from door to door in Knoxville. There was no time. I would go in during the daytime. I don't do that kind of
you're
stuff
afraid-
at night.
Well, they're
Really?
closed at night. So
All
don't
right,
worry about
perfect.
it. You don't-
Okay.
So from the 18th president, let's go to the 21st president.
Why don't we?
And there was an inauguration that happened in New York, and it's kind of a largely forgotten one, and it was the inauguration of President Chester Arthur. He lived.
Chester Arthur, okay.
I know he's kind of the forgotten one.
Oh,
I was
that's so
gonna
sad.
say.
But
Imagine
he
being
lived-
president.
He
No
lives
one
on
knows.
Lexington Avenue in Rose Hill, and on the night of September 19th, 1881, at 10 o'clock, he got a message that James Garfield, the president, died from gunshot wounds he suffered 2 months earlier.
Oh my gosh.
His cabinet members said, take the oath of office ASAP. So a couple hours later, in the early mornings of September 20th, he took the oath of office in this building.
This one right here?
Yeah, so interesting. This is the only building in New York that was the site of an inauguration. Of course, there was Federal Hall, which is where George
Sure.
Washington was,
Sure.
but the original Federal Hall was demolished and a new one was built. So this
Okay.
one, even though it changed a lot,
Yeah.
is the original building.
What is it an
I
Armenian
was-
deli? What's
I was
It is-
trying to read that
It is
real
the
quick.
famous spice market. I can never
Kalutzian?
pronounce. That's it. I can't
Kalutzians?
pronounce it.
I was reading Cyber.
So I
Look
didn't
at
want to
that.
say it.
Yeah, it's all right. You
Okay.
just try. It could
We
be
don't
wrong.
mind making ourselves look like fools.
No, we'll take care
Talk
of
to
that.
us
for you.
about Teddy Roosevelt.
So there's been a number of presidents that were born in New York,
Sure.
Teddy Roosevelt
Crazy.
being one of them. And he was born in 1885 on 20th Street between Broadway and Park Avenue.
Oh, he couldn't afford real estate there now.
Oh, yeah, no,
He
no. And that was
tried.
considered uptown back then.
Stop it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because the Bronx was like the country.
Yes. So he suffered from severe asthma, and he
Right.
actually was homeschooled. He read a lot of books, and that's where his love of nature was really developed there. Now, just interesting fact: this home is not the original home. What happened was they sold it. It was knocked down. A commercial building was built. In 1919, a group of people wanted to build a museum where Teddy Roosevelt was born, so
Sure.
they built it just like what it looked like.
Oh, my God.
And a lot of the furnishings are from the Roosevelt family, and
No
the crib
kidding.
that he slept in is there. His original Rough Riders uniform is there.
Oh, the Rough
That
Riders?
uniform
Riders,
right
huh?
there, that uniform right there, he wore in 1912, and that's actually when he survived an assassination attempt when he was running for
Right.
president again.
Gosh,
Oh
our
my-
history is steeped in some stuff.
Yes.
Woo-wee.
We need to know the big ticket item. There's a way to see
Oh, yeah.
the Oval Office
There is.
without
So,
going to DC.
Most of us will never get to get into the Oval Office,
Yeah.
but just go to the Upper West Side, and there is a replica of the Oval Office.
Stop it.
Who knew?
At the New York Historical Society, and this is actually pretty cool
Aw.
because it feels like you are in D.C.
Sure.
We're on the set of Scandal.
the West Wing.
Little fun fact about the Oval Office: the first president to ever use it was President Howard Taft in 1909.
Really?
And ever since then, every president got to furnish the Oval Office to their own liking. Can you guess which one this?
Who liked the jelly beans?
Who liked the jelly beans?
Reagan.
Yes, so
Thanks,
this
John.
replica is made to look like President Reagan's second term
Look at that.
because
Good-looking
it's
guy.
known to be the traditional design of the Oval Office.
Okay.
John Friia, I learned more from you than I did
wealth of
in
knowledge. I
all
try
to
4
share it.
years of high school. Jeez Louise, next time, cookies or nothing.
I got
love
things in
this.
mind. Don't worry.
Oh.
Remember to follow John Friia on TikTok at here in NYC or on the gram at here_in_NY. Thank you, John. Friia.
Pleasure as always. A wealth of knowledge, this one.